Right, in this video, I want to show you how to make a lot of extra money from your bounty hunting for more or less nothing. You can get about 1.75 times your normal bounty money if you follow these two um, things that I'm about to show you. The first one is to join powerplay with Zachary Hudson. Now, I'm in LTT 15574, which is one of his control systems. And if you're signed up to Zachary Hudson and you reach level 2 in his power play by getting 100 merits, um, you get today 40% bonus on your bounties. And for that, you need to invest 2 million. So you need to look in your bank. And as soon as you've got, like 2 million or more, you can do this. And it'll pay for itself on the first trip, the first time you go out bounty hunting, like 40 minutes or something like that. You'll get enough bonus to pay off the million that you've invested and I think it's a million for the ship you need to do it. Right, so I want to show you the ship you need first of all. So it's a T6 because you're going to need to deliver 100 tons of fortification supplies, and for that obviously you need 100 ton capacity. So this is the loadout I've used. If you got load more money, if you wanted, you could have a power plant, a thrusters, um, life support and whatever, it doesn't matter. You do need the power distributor just in case you get interdicted, but T6 is a very fast ship and you can boost a lot, um, even with 4D thrusters, and get a decent amount of speed. So that's how I do it. But the important thing here is that you need to change the shields from the default. I'd use a 3A because normally I'd use, if I was mining or something like that, I'd use a 3C byweave. But this is, yeah, you want the strongest shields you can get to stand up against somebody that might shoot you when they interdict you. It's very, very rare for that to happen, and you can always win the mini interdiction game anyway. So the chance of you coming face to face with an interdict is not that high. And even if you do, there's techniques you can use to get away, just like boost away from them, chaff, and drop a heat sink, boost again, and get your frame shift. But if you've been hooked out without submitting, then you're going to take you a while for your frame shift drive to cool down. But if you just keep boosting, you'll get enough distance that the attacker's weapons will hardly be able to do any harm. So use your chaff. So chaff first, see if that protects you. Um, a heat sink will break target lock. So if he's using anything other than fixed weapons, um, that'll give you some protection as well. So these are the cargo racks you need for 100 tons. It's up to you whether you have docking computer. You might need a bit more power or something like that if you have one. Get rid of the weapons. You're not going to use those. They're class one. If you try to shoot anybody in this T6, you're going to get blown up. So it's just not. Get rid of them. Get more jump. That gives you more jump range and less heat. So I've got a heat sink and a chaff. Could have a shield booster as well, but then you need if you got a bit more money, get a power plant. It just takes your jump range down a little bit, but I don't think it makes a difference. I can do the trip in one jump with this one. I can't remember what the distance is. Um, it depends. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So that's the loadout. That we're not really interested in anything. This being said, sorry, it's 3.5 million to get this loadout. So you've got to wait until you've got 3.5 million for this, plus a million for the fortification supplies you got to buy. You're going to get half that million back in salary. You get 500,000 a week. It's nothing compared with your bounties, but so it's not a whole million you invest. Right. So once you've made this loadout like this, I would use this Coriolis.io. Then you can see I'm going to click my stations that sell this ship. and it gives me brings up this. Um, you've got hasn't done it, so this is the right ship. T6, it's got all the stuff in it. Just type in where you are. LTT 15574. Don't forget, you can't just enter it. You've got to click this search that comes up. So once we're in there, find stations, and you'll see that Julian Gateway in Malak sells this exact ship and all the loadout, and it's 2 jumps away in the Vulture. So go over to Julian Gateway, get your T6, be heading for Nanoman, and I'm going to show you why. So on this side of this panel, you've got Galactic Powers. Click on that, and here's all the power play people. And here's Zachary Hudson. He's number 2 in the charts at the moment. So click on him. Now I'm actually pledged to him. I've done it already, but what you'll get here, what you'll see is pledge. So that doesn't do anything just yet, but when you click on it, it'll show you these things here, and what you can see when you're rating 2, that's 2 stripes, like a corporal, you get a weekly bone salary of 50,000 credits, and don't worry about these other things. That make more sense like in the weeks to come. But what he offers you is, depending where he is in the charts, 20, 30, 40 or 50% bonus. Now he's number 2 at the moment, so you're getting 40%. Next week he could be number 1, you get 50%, or he could drop down 1 and you get 30%. It's still worth doing even at 20%. The other thing, I'll show you this as well. You can get, if you get rating 5, you get 50 million salary a week, and you'll get 100% increase, so you get actually double bounty money. So that's worth having. But to get the 10,000 merits, you need to deliver 10,000 tons of his fortification supplies. So you need a big ship. You know, if you got one that can carry 500 tons, don't know whether Anaconda can do that much. Cutter can. T9, T9's a bit dodgy because you're going to get interdicted. So Anaconda, probably the biggest one. Say it's 500 tons. It's going to be 20 trips. It's only 1 jump away, so it's jumping from one system to the next, back again, and it takes about 3.5 hours or something like that the first time you do it. Now, one other thing. So what happens is when you deliver these supplies, you get merit points. Now, I've already done 1 delivery, the 100 tons, to get 100 merits. And when I've got 100 merits, I get rating 2. But you'll see I'm only at rating 1, even though I've got 100 merits. And the reason is because there's a clock tick over that happens Wednesday night. So when you log on Thursday morning, the clock's ticked and you've got the new thing. So on Thursday morning, I'll have 100 merits, and I'll have my level 2. And thereafter, as long as I'm level 2, I'll get that 40% or whatever it is bonus on my bounties. At the end of the week, my 100 merits become 50. They halve. So I've got 50 left, and then I need to deliver another 50 tons. So the first week you got to deliver 100 tons. Second week and third weeks, it's a little bit more than 50 tons because of the way the halves work. Because the 50 becomes 25, then 12.5, then 6.25, and so on. And then the ones you've done the next week, they go down. So I think it works out you've got to deliver just over 50 tons a week, but you've got 100 tons capacity now. So once a week, you just got to spend 10 minutes, dash over to Nanoman, deliver your stuff, and then come back again. So the first time you'll be going from that Julian Gateway, go straight to Nanoman, do the power play stuff. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Then fly back to... when you buy the T6, store your Vulture. So you go back to Julian Gateway, swap ships again, so store the T6. As soon as you get to LTT 15574 to the station there, do the ship transfer and call your T6 over there so it's ready for the next week when you do it. So the next week, on a Wednesday or depending when you're playing, just nip over to Nanoman, do your power play stuff, nip back again, carry on with your bounty hunting, and then you'll stay at level 2 all the time and get the bonus as long as you do it. So that's that. So is there anything else on power play? Some of the other powers, I'm not going to go through them all, but they've all got different things. There is one of the women, if I remember rightly, that gives you the bonus as well in her space. So yeah, to get the bonus, I'm with Zachary Hudson. You've got to hand in your bounties in his systems. And if you look at the galaxy map, each system tells you who the controlling power is. So anything that's Zachary Hudson, you get the bonus in. So for us in LTT 15574, the surrounding systems are AFRA, APHRA with resource extraction sites. So AFRA, Cremain, KREMAINN, FRENG, FRENG. They're the ones that come to mind. There's a few others around. You find them on the map. Right. So what I've done, because I've already done the trip once, I've called up my T6. So to do the ship transfer, it'll be in the shipyard. So when you've stored your ship, first of all, if you just go to the shipyard, and there'll be a storage. When you buy your T6, you'll store your vulture. So when you get back there, it'll say stored ships. So you just click on that one, and that'll be your vulture. So storage options, use this ship, just like this. I'm doing it the other way round because I've already done the trip once. Now I've got my I was in my vulture. Now I want my T6. So just take a couple of seconds, and unfortunately we're back out of the shipyard. So when you get to after you've done your first trip and you've parked your T6 in Julian Gateway, when you get to LTT 15574, click the ship transfer, and it'll be in here as a ship transferable, and it'll be the same thing. Somewhere in here it says transfer to this station, and then just call it across. It costs you a couple of thousand credits, something, nothing much. So then it's ready for you to, like I've just had, it's all here ready for me to go. Now I can go and do the trip. To find it's just I'll make it easy for you. If you open up the galaxy map, it's Nanoman. Whoops. You'll notice I've got the can't spell Nanoman like that. This power play map, it's these ones. You can have it however you want it to look. So it's more. I find this one confusing, so it's just as easy to use the normal one. So there's Nanoman, and I've been there before. So I'm going to show you the station you need to go to. It's this one here, Grizzly Dock. I think you can go to that one as well, but that one's nearer. So you can navigate directly there. You won't be able to see the system map when you get there, but as soon as you get there, open up the system map, find this Grizzly Dock, and go straight there. And when you get there, I'll show you what to do. Here at Grizzly Dock, this is what you do. So contacts, you now find you've got a power contact. Candice, somebody or other. Click on there. And what you want to do is this collect Garrison Supplies. In week 2, you'll get some for nothing. I can't remember how many it is, 15 or something like that. And it'll be a bit quicker than this. I think that number goes up depending on your rank. So anyway, you just take all 10 like that, confirm, back to the main page, and you have to keep going like this. Fast track the next, take the 10, confirm, back to the main page, and so on until your ship's full with 100. I don't know why they make it so tedious as this. But you can imagine what it's like if you've got a cutter and you're trying to do level 5 and you've got 10,000 to do and you can only load them 10 at a time. Once you get to level 5, I think it lets you load 50 at a time or something like that, maybe 100 at a time. So it does speed up once you've got there. But the first time, you got to do it the long way like this, 10 at a time. There we go. So we're full up. So what do we do? What do we do with these things? So in let's go back to our Galactic Powers again. So coming here, when you look at these things, power play's complicated. What happens is he prepares systems for takeover, and you have activities to do for that. He expands, so you have to do some things to expand and control, like that's to keep control of the ones he's already got. So these are his control systems, and tells you how to fortify them, carry these garrison supplies, which is what we've just filled up with. So we can take them to any one of these systems, like some a long way away, and they're not in sequence, unfortunately. So that one's quite close. But this is, for simplicity's sake, let's just choose the first one on the list, which is probably the nearest one as well. So you click on that, and this is the progress. What happens is people delivering these garrison supplies, they've done it 18 times more than what they needed to. So what happens is this column fills up, and when you get to the trigger, which is 5037, it's considered fortified, and it prevents it from being taken over by somebody else. It's quite complicated. I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of power play, but so we're just at it. What we're doing as far as power play is concerned is completely wasted, but we're only doing it to get the bonus. But if you are interested in a power play, you could look at some of the other ones, and that one's just done. We're getting towards the end of the power play week. That one's done. I'm looking down here, so this one's not done yet. So Clay, where was that? That one there. It's under threat as well. So the opposing people are winning it. So that one needs to be beefed up to prevent this one from being taken over. That's it, sort of in a nutshell. But you don't really need to worry about that if you're not interested in power play. I'm just showing you that because it is quite interesting. It's a game in its own right. You know, you can take over other systems, and there's when you go on the Frontier forum, there's a link to power play, and find Zachary Hudson, and there's probably a link to a Reddit page or something like that, where they make all their plans and tell you what you got to do. It's all organised, you know, there's leaders and that sort of stuff. And they tell, right, we're going after this system, we want everybody to do this, that and the other. And then, of course, the opposing powers will read it, and then they'll say, oh, we want to prevent that, so they'll all come. And of course, if you play an open as well, it's good fun, you know, battles and stuff like that. But you know, you can just do it in solo as well. Yeah, so we wanted to go to this control system at the top of the list, Groombridge 618. So can we see that on the map? Yeah, view on the map. Hopefully it's going to show us this time. So Groombridge 1618. I've been there once. I've got a system map, but once you get there, just open up the system map and you'll see this. So Gernsback Terminal's the nearest one. So just go in there and you deliver the stuff. It's as simple as that. It's just like delivering cargo, except for you have to do it in a power page play, which I'll show you when I get there. Very occasionally you get interdicted, but or attempted interdiction, but uh, it's normally pretty safe. It's only one jump, and the station's close, so they don't hardly get a chance to interdict you anyway. So I think you'll be pretty safe. Right, here at Guernsback Terminal, same procedures before: contacts, power contact, and this time deliver the Garrison Supplies. So confirm, and that's it. Right, so when you look now, I've done this twice this week, and I didn't need to, so slightly different. Um, what happened the first time I did it, it didn't record, so I've done it twice. That's why I already had 100. So you want to check here now that you've got your 100 merits. I've got 200 now, so I'm all right for 2 weeks. I know what happened. Um, yeah, I'll be all right because the first lot will go down to 50. Oh, in fact, the 200 will go down to 100 now. So I'm covered for next week because don't forget they're half each week. Right. One final thing before I go, just about power play. There's all sorts of rubbish written, spoken about power play in the forums and things because mainly people don't understand it and have never done it. It's very safe. Um, when you go, if you're just traveling around, when you go through systems controlled by other powers, you'll be you'll see hostile on the right hand side of your screen, just above the fuel gauge, where you see wanted. You know, when you've got a bounty on you, it doesn't mean anything. Nobody's going to come after you. Nobody's going to attack you. Um, very, very occasionally, and it's like once in a blue moon, an opposing power might turn up in the resource extraction site, or they might interdict you. They're pretty weak when you're low rating, and you know you can blow them up as long as they've shot you first to make them wanted. You can blow them up and get the bounty for them. That all counts. I think it might even count. You might even get 20 merits for that. Because when you blow up ships from opposing powers, special power play ships, you get merits for them. I'll come back to that in a minute. Um, so, you know, like it's once in a blue moon you might get interdicted, or they might turn up in the resource extraction site. The last time a couple turned up in a resource extraction site, they didn't even attack me. In fact, they helped me. They started attacking the bad guys, and you know, made it easier for me to kill them. And you know, like they joined in as if they were my friends. So it's absolute rubbish what they'll tell you about, or if you got blown up by, you know, you don't know why. It's because you're power play, or because you're hostile to a faction or something. That's absolute rubbish. I, I got something like 7,000 hours in this game. I've done this for thousands of hours, and I've never ever had somebody randomly attack me because I've been hostile to them. You know, regardless of what you do, it's just a nonsense. The only thing I've ever had is like if you're killing the bad guys from another faction all the time, you become hostile with them, and then when you go to their headquarters, the station's red and you can't get in. That's the only downside I've ever had to being hostile, and that was nothing to do with power play. Right, so the power play gets you at the moment 40% extra bounty money. Now the next thing is going to get you another 25% on top of that, or they multiply together whichever way you do it. So this one is our friend the kill warrant scanner. So if I were in the Vulture, uh, the only change to the loadout I showed you before is that I've swapped a shield booster for a kill warrant scanner. So your shields are slightly not as strong as they were before, but I can't say I've noticed a difference since I've been out in the high resource extraction site. But the extra money the kill warrant's going to get you is well worth it. Now, there's a lot of rubbish written on the forums and things like that. Most people never really figured out how to use it properly. So there is a little bit of a trick to it. So I'm now in a fer de lance, so slightly different loadout, but everything's the same. So look at your fire groups. The you want your weapons on trigger 1 and a kill warrant scanner on trigger 2, and I'll explain why in a minute. So if you want more than one weapon choice, so you've got, like you had the Vulture with a multi-cannon and uh, a, a beam laser, you'd have to have them in separate fire groups. So that's what I've done on this fer de lance. I've got a big multi-cannon and down here, and all these pulse lasers. But because it's a big multi-cannon, it's 4A, it's massive. You don't get so much ammo, so you don't want to be using it all the time. The lasers are really good at stripping shields, and then as soon as they're gone, start using the multi-cannon. So what I've done, I created 2 fire groups, both with a kill warrant scanner on trigger 2. And the reason that I've got it like that is because you want the kill warrant scanner on all the time. You don't want to have to pull a trigger scan. That's what some people do, and that's why they say it's a waste of time, because they'd need a separate fire group to have the kill warrant scanner in, so they'd have to stop what they're doing, scan the ship, bearing in mind it keeps flying out of your sights, so you have to keep repositioning all the time to get it back in to complete the scan. And while you're doing all that, of course, you're not shooting anything. Then you've got to change to fire groups and then start shooting the ship that you've just scanned. And that's all a bit of a waste of time. If you do it like I do, what you'll see is that the kill warrant scanner is automatic. So as soon as you target a ship, and as long as you're pointing at it, it starts scanning it. So just carry on shooting it, if you want to. Any ship that you've got targeted to shoot will also get scanned at the same time. And you'll see this kill warrant scanner just going off automatically all the time. So it's money for nothing. And when you get back to the to hand in your bounties, you got all the extra bounty money from the kill warrant scanner. And it didn't cost you any time or didn't do anything. Yeah, you might miss 1 or 2 scans because they're too quick. You just point and shoot, and because the police are already finishing them off, and you only get in 1 shot. So yeah, it's not. When I say you get 25% extra, I mean, it probably still works out about that anyway. So yeah, don't worry about that. Right, so that's the loadout. Now the trick is to bind your secondary fire button, trigger, or whatever to a switch that stays on all the time. And that's not necessarily that easy. If you've got flight sticks like the X52, X55, is it X60, whatever it is, you can bind it to the slider or one of the rotational knobs, something like that. If you've got deluxe flight sticks with extra toggle switches and things like that, any switch that you can toggle to stay on works well. At the moment, I've got it on one of the rotational knobs on the X52, so you just rotate it and then it's on. And then when you rotate the other way, it goes back off again. But I just leave it on all the time. So if you're working with keyboard and mouse and you've got like cheaper flight sticks without so many buttons, bind it to the minus key on the top right of your keyboard, and then when you arrive in the high resource extraction site, put a weight on it. And there's one proviso for keeping it on all the time, and that is that it gets reset in every new instance. So if you jump out and jump back in again, you need to reset it. So you've got to switch it off and then back on again to be on all the time. And also, if you bring up the comms panel and you got it on a keyboard, it'll treat that as a key, and it'll start typing in minuses into the comms. So you'd have to switch it off for that. And then when you finish the comms, you've got to switch it back on again. But in a normal battle situation, it's fully automatic. When you just got it on, you're just scanning and shooting all the time. So that's how to set it up. and get your money for nothing. So what I'll do, I'll show you a bit of it in operation now in the high res, and I'll show you how you collect your money afterwards. Right, I've arrived in the resource extraction site now. There's one other important thing I forgot to tell you. That's that when you come to leave, you can only leave um, when you can only get your frame shift drive going when your weapons are retracted. So if you've got that switch still on, you wait on the keyboard or peg or whatever you're using, or your slider still on, you won't be able to get your frame shift drive going. So you've got to switch off first. So right, I've switched it on now, I think. So where's that? So I've just targeted it now, and already the kill warrant scanner's going off. I'm not doing anything. So I'm ready to shoot now if I want. No delay. So there's a Federal assault ship. And again, scanning automatically. So I can shoot now, even though the scan wasn't complete. Same thing, automatic kill warrant scanner. So I'm just shooting it now, and you can see it's... there's a problem with my X-52. If I go zero throttle, it breaks, it switches it off. So same thing, start shooting. Right, back in the station, let's see what we got from the kill warrant scanner. Now if I look at my left panel under transactions, you can see that there's the normal 16 million that I would have got in LTT 15574, and there's a whole load of things underneath. I'm not going to all go down the list at the moment, but so when we go to the contacts, authority contact, you just collect your bounty in the same way as before. You'll see that there was the 16 million, but we've actually got 19 million. So that's 3 and 15. That's a fifth. That's about 20% extra money we got from the kill warrant scanner. But that's not all. So let's cash that in. Incoming message. So now when I look in the panel, there's still more money. There's another 700 odd thousand. What you do, make a few trips until it comes to like 3 or 4 million, and then remember you've still got your T6 here. So swap ships, jump in that, and pop across to Kinney, where you find the interstellar factor, and he'll cash it in. He'll take 25% of it, but it's still money for nothing. It's worth it. Best wait till you got like several million. Don't do it just for this, because the time you've been over and back, you could have made that money by shooting new pirates. So there you go. That's 2 ways to make extra money. So it works out about 1.2, 25% extra money from the kill warrant scanner, and at the moment it's 40% extra from the power play. And the power play money, your bounties will look the same, and when you cash it in, it looks the same, but you get 40% extra money. When you see your credit balance go up, you'll see you've had an extra 40%. So that's how to get extra money, and hope that was useful for you, and maybe I'll see you in another video.